fall camp players report to the Selleck dorms on Sunday, and then they start practice Monday. I never say, is it I can't ever get that word
Quadrangle.
Right.
Quadrangle.
That I just say Selleck dorm because I basically butcher that word every time.
Just say quad.
The Selleck quad.
Robin. Quadrangle.
Yes.
The old Selleck. I'm just interested what that's going to look like, by the way.
Really interested. It can't now. It's not going to be all. I don't think it's all going to. It's not going to be rosy all the time. When you have that, it's tense. August is tense.
There's old Selleck right there.
God, you guys have covered it for years.
There's Matt Rule's room.
I mean, you guys have covered preseason. You guys have covered preseason camp. It's tense.
Yeah, especially once you get into like week 3.
Yeah,
people are tired.
It's hot.
They're hot.
Yeah,
they're
competing.
Adrenaline is worn off a little bit, and now the tensions are starting to build because position battles are starting to get cleared up a little bit, and yeah.
If we could say some of the things we've heard, I think people would be freaked out. I mean, I've heard stuff said, like I'm like, oh boy, that you don't. I tone that down a little bit. It just gets intense.
Think how many times under Pelini, like we were worried, like, I mean, he shut down access before during camp.
He shut it down.
But just like how, I mean, I got thrown out of a camp once for Pelini for reporting on Bubba Starling.
Well, I mean, you see coaches getting after each other. Coaches getting after players. Yeah, I mean, it gets wicked intense.
Was it under Riley or Pelini where they did night practices? I mean, I say night.
Riley.
And they were practicing until like 10 o'clock at night.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. We were writing practice reports.
We didn't have our office yet, and we were working from the embassy suites that year.
Mm-hmm.
We just walk over and we drink at the bar.
Yeah, we'd have to get there before they close the bar at like 10 o'clock. So
you'd scurry over there.
Yeah, we'd run over and order like 4 or 5 at a time.
Nice.
So we could actually have it to finish our stories.
Right.
Some late nights in the heat.
It helps your sanity.
So Sunday, guys, will be a very big day, though.
Sunday.
Not only is it player move-in day, report day, but it is fan day. Nebraska's fan day will take place indoors in the Hawk Center. High's 93. I would assume that's for the heat reasons, but man, it's going to be really crowded inside the Hawks. And it'll be interesting how that goes off.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's indoors. I know there's been a lot of complaints about.
Has there?
Yeah. I mean, well, for one, the fact that it's indoors, like it'll be packed, but it'll be cool. And I think that's, for a lot of people, that's more important.
As long as the garage doors are closed, which they will be. But if you open those garage doors, it's not very cool inside the
But
Hawks.
then the fact that they're doing it on a weekend, right? Like that, as opposed to like 2 o'clock on a Wednesday when people like are still working.
Remember, that's what Bo used to do. Like
Frost used to do that.
They would almost be visibly annoyed how busy the fan day would be, that like we're going to have it at the most obscure day of the week and time. And it would end up being more crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Like there'd be families like, well, great, we have a new tradition. We're going to take the day off as a family. And I mean, people will come to this no matter what. And it's a really important part of Nebraska football.
Yeah. I won't be within 5 miles of it. So tell me how it goes.
I mean, there's not a lot of roster intrigue, in my opinion, because the number one, the fall camp rosters now, it's 120.
Mm-hmm.
So there used to always, when it was like 105, there'd always be like, who's the scholarship guy that's not going to make it? You know?
Now you get everybody plus a couple of walk-ons, like
not a couple, like 35.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
yeah, that drama's sort of.
I mean, there's just very little, you might injury or just eyeballing people, but having it indoor, I mean, I don't know if I'm really interested. Like you said, it's just not really a media event.
No.
We used to get like all the obscure players, just get pictures of them. We go to every seat at
Just
every
to use
table,
them.
just to have a stock photo of every player, just in case. But beyond that, there wasn't a lot.
A lot of times that was like our transfer portal file, because if a guy transferred, they usually didn't play, but by God, we had this picture of them wearing a bucket hat, smiling at fan day.
So that's still worthy of doing.
Yeah. And it's not exactly my favorite thing to do, but I'll end up doing it probably.
Well, we don't need to talk about that.
But okay, then there's a recruiting event as well going on Sunday. So from 10 to 3, Nebraska will be hosting a barbecue. This is a recruiting event to host kids on campus. That's the last day that you can have recruits on campus until September 1st, which is the start of the season. But the there's a few notables. Grant Bricks, Logan Magnolia
Yeah, that's
is
pretty
going to
notable.
be there.
Okay.
He's also going to K-State and Oklahoma this week, though, too. So Brixie's going to make another round of visits to these 3 places, but Nebraska will get him last. Caleb Benning will be there as well. He's expected to be there on Sunday. Guess who's coming back, Sipple? Your quarterback boy, Alex Mansky.
Really?
Your boy.
He'll be back for his 3rd visit to Lincoln since June.
I like him. I like that dude. He's a natural.
You really wrote a great breakdown of him.
Inside jokes. Keep moving.
So what all goes on at one of these deals? I mean, obviously they're grilling, but like beyond that, like, is it just a hangout? Is it hang out at the facilities and like one big unofficial visit?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's kind of a giant get together. Let people hang out, interact, talk to important recruits. A lot of the guys there, though, will be 25s and 26s. As you know, with 2024, a lot of the hay's already in the barn. There's not a lot of wiggle room for numbers in 2024. They had 24 guys committed, 24.
Yeah.
And, I don't know how much more they're going to go. And it's got to make sense if they continue to keep adding people. So, yes, Grant Bricks makes sense. It'll be interesting how it plays out with Caleb Benning and some of these other spots, because they do have 7 defensive backs technically committed right now. So there are a lot of things. I love that Mansky's coming back, though. Your top, arguably, I know we were all on the Stone Saunders thing, but now Mansky's back for a 3rd time, and they really like this guy.
I bet they do. Well, we'll see. Maybe they could invite Lauren Stiffens to the barbecue.
Fix her up a plate.
Hey, they have to pay,
Get a big plate full.
they have to charge,
you're
though,
hungry.
these things
No
for
harm,
food.
no foul.
So she can pay. They can't give a free meal, as ridiculous as that sounds.
They can't. They have to pay for it.
You have to pay like $5 or $10
Nominal fee.
by per NCAA rules. There
That
has to
makes
be,
sense.
and so they charge for those things. But that's going on Sunday. Brian Munson's going to have an extensive report on this on the website. Well, more in Tunnel Talk this week.